most dangerous operative in the room is not the one who fears being wrong. It's the one who has forgotten it's possible. The air inside the warehouse smells of machine oil and old paper, thick enough to taste metal at the back of your throat. Not the darkness, not the 12 men across the city who exist only as static breathing in your earpiece. The smell. You notice that before anything else, because smell is the thing that tells you a place is real, that you are actually here, inside a building that every official map registers as a textile storage facility in a quiet industrial district outside Tehran. It is not a textile storage facility. You've known that for 14 months. Your cover name is Leila. You've worn it so long it fits like a second skeleton. Iranian-born, German-educated import logistics consultant. The legend is clean. 3 years of construction, 2 deep cover insertions, 1 near catastrophic border crossing. Your file describes as a transit irregularity, one you still see at 3 a.m. when the silence gets too loud. Tonight, the legend is just the door you used to get in. Tonight is about what's inside. Your earpiece clicks twice. Dove, Eastern Loading Bay. It means, I'm in position, waiting on you. You don't click back. You already know where you are. That's the thing about you. The version of you built over 6 years across 4 continents. You always know exactly where you are, exactly how much time you have, exactly what the room will ask before it asks it. Your handler called it operational clairvoyance. You called it preparation. What you never said aloud is that you also call it proof, that the 14 months, the border crossing, the 3 a.m. silences were all pointing here, to this room, to you. The archive is in the sublevel. Steel shelving, 32 binders, approximately 55,000 pages on a nuclear program the world has argued about for 2 decades. You don't take the binders. You take what's inside them. You move toward the stairwell. Footsteps silent, trained to walk like the building expects you. Not like an intruder, like furniture. Dov clicks again. 3 times. Something's changed. You pause at the stairwell door. You don't click back. You already have a theory, and you're already deciding it's correct. That decision, quiet, automatic, dressed as confidence, is the first mistake of the night. The stairwell is cooler, drier, air recycled too many times in a sealed space, settling on your skin like a layer you didn't ask for. You descend without a light. You don't need one. You could see even if your eyes were closed. You've walked this floor plan so many times in the training facility that your body knows the 11 steps, the left bend at the bottom, the door that opens inward with 4 kilograms of resistance. You know this place better than the people who built it. That thought arrives without arrogance. Clean, neutral, self-evident. Dov clicks again. 4 times. 4 clicks is not in the protocol. 3 clicks is the limit of their agreed language. 4 means Dov is improvising. Whatever changed at the Eastern Bay has moved beyond what the 2 of you planned for. You stop on the 7th step. Beneath the static breathing in your earpiece, something else? A low, irregular frequency. A scanner sweeping. Close. A patrol. The facility was supposed to be on reduced rotation tonight. That intelligence came from Aleph, a mid-level administrator, 8 months of reliable data, verified across 3 collection streams. The patrol wasn't in Aleph's data. The right call is simple. 2 clicks back to Dov. Hold. Reassess together. Here is what you do instead. You decide it's a standard deviation, a bored guard on an unscheduled walk, too early for a responsive escalation. The sublevel is lowest priority after midnight. 14 months of pattern data says so. You decide this because you have never been wrong about a room before you entered it. You keep moving. The archive is exactly where it should be. You allow yourself half a second of something that lives near satisfaction. Then your earpiece goes silent, not a held breath. A channel closed from outside. and from somewhere above, the eastern bay. A sound that travels through the building's bones. A door, forced, a voice, sharp. Then the specific horrible silence that follows a confrontation. You stand in the sublevel with 32 binders in front of you, and the complete understanding that Dov did not encounter a standard deviation. He encountered the thing you decided wasn't there, and you left him to face it alone. There is a fear that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't spike. It rises the way cold water fills a sealed room, slowly from the floor up, and by the time you feel it at your throat, you've been standing in it longer than you realized. Your hands are on the archive. The extraction device, slim, no larger than a paperback, is already processing. The operation is, technically, proceeding. Dov is somewhere above you, in a building that is no longer quiet. You run the calculation. You've run it before, in training rooms with instructors who had the patience of people who'd already made the wrong version of this decision. The mission asset outweighs any single operator. Protocol is explicit. Don't abort for one contact event. Complete the extraction. Trust your teammate. 31%. 40 pages per minute. You think about the 14 months, the border crossing, the 3 a.m. silences, the version of yourself that was built and that you have, without fully noticing, began to confuse with the only version of yourself that matters. You think about the 4 clicks. Dov sent them because 3 wasn't enough, because what he was seeing was outside their agreed language, and he told you the only way he could. You heard it and chose your theory instead. 47%. Above you, a barely perceptible shift in air pressure, doors opening in sequence, weight redistributing through concrete and steel. More than one person, more than a board guard. 61%. Steadiness is not the same as clarity. Clarity would require looking directly at what you did. You chose your own theory over your partner's signal because you have spent 6 years building a version of yourself that doesn't need to be corrected. That version of yourself is the most dangerous thing in this building tonight. 78%. Then, 2 sets of footsteps above you, not one. Dov is still moving. The relief is so sharp, it feels like shame. Because relief means you had been aware, beneath every calculation, that the alternative was possible. You'd built it into the room the moment you kept descending those stairs. 93%. You are already closing the binder, already moving to the second shelf, already preparing the extraction device for transfer. Your body is completing the mission because your body knows that this is what you do. You finish what you started regardless of the cost to the room around you. 100%. The device clicks. Complete. 55,000 pages. 14 months. 1 decision on a stairwell. You secure the device in the lining of your jacket, the pocket that doesn't exist on any customs manifest, and move toward the stairs. For the first time tonight, you're walking into a room without a theory. It is the most honest you've been since you descended. Dov is sitting against the loading bay wall when you find him. Not down. Sitting. The deliberate stillness of someone who chose to be still, rather than having it forced. His left hand is pressed flat against his right forearm. His jacket is dark in a way jackets shouldn't be. You crouch beside him. Your hands move with the efficiency of someone who completed field medicine certification 3 times and hoped each time it was a formality. He lets you work. He doesn't look at you. That is what you will carry longest. Not the archive, not the 55,000 pages against your ribs. The fact that Dov doesn't look at you. In 6 years across 4 continents, through 3 blown covers and 1 extraction, your joint file calls, non-standard resolution, Dov has never not looked at you. He looks at you the way a navigator looks at instruments. Not admiration, but the reliance of someone who has decided you are a fixed point. Tonight you were a theory. 4 clicks, you say. He says nothing. I heard them. I know, he says, still not looking. 2 words. Not anger. Anger would be easier. Recalibration. Reassessing what can still be trusted. You help him to his feet. He takes his own weight immediately. You move through the bay toward the service exit. The patrol has relocated north, drawn by a distraction your support element triggered on schedule. The window is 11 minutes. You've used 3. The night air hits you like a verdict. Cold, clear. Tehran moves around you. Traffic, a dog, the hum of infrastructure, indifferent to what just happened inside one of its unremarkable buildings. The extraction vehicle is where it should be. The driver doesn't speak. You're grateful. As the vehicle moves into the city's grid, you reach into your jacket. The device is there, warm from your body. 55,000 pages reduced to something you could leave on a train without anyone noticing. You look at Dov's profile in the dark. He stares ahead. His right hand on his knee is not entirely steady. You look away, and you sit with the unheroic weight of having been exactly right about the archive and exactly wrong about the room. The debriefing room smells of instant coffee and recycled air, drop ceiling, folding table, 2 chairs at the angle of a conversation that isn't comfortable, a recorder everyone pretends is incidental. You have been in rooms like this on 4 continents. They are always the same room, but you don't feel the same. Your handler's name, for the purposes of this operation, is Oren. He is a compact man in his 50s, with the specific stillness of someone who has spent decades making other people feel that the silence is theirs to fill. You have worked with him for 3 years. You have never successfully made him react to anything. He places the extraction device on the table, then opens the debrief with Dov. Walk me through the Eastern Bay decision. Not your decision, the decision. Already administrative, already being filed under a category that will outlast you both. You walk him through it. The 4 clicks. The patrol? The theory on the 7th step, chosen over your partner's signal. The operational language is clean, but the translation underneath is simple. I thought I knew better. I chose myself over protocol. It cost Dov 6 weeks and almost cost more. The archive is complete? Oren asks. 55,000 pages. Full extraction. 0 corruption. 1 nod. An accountant confirming a column. Dov's injury is classified as a transit incident. Non-operational cause on file. 6 weeks recovery. Reassigned to analysis. He continues without pause. If the archive is what Aleph indicated, this is the largest single acquisition in the unit's history. Said like a weather report. You'll receive a commendation. Internal? Unpublished? 4 people will read it in the next decade. You look at the device. In the low light, it looks like nothing. Something you'd leave on a train. Anything to add to the record? You think about the 7th step. The 4 clicks answered with silence. The way Dov didn't look at you. The way his hand wasn't steady. No. Oren closes the folder. 72 hours stand down. Then there's a new brief. He picks up the device and leaves. You sit alone. The recorder light is still red. You reach out and turn it off. A small, unauthorized gesture that changes nothing about the record. The institution doesn't pause, doesn't grieve, doesn't sit with the 7th step, or the 4 clicks, or the way a teammate stops looking at you. It files the column and opens the next brief. You will be ready in 72 hours. You will walk into the next room already knowing everything about it. And somewhere between now and then, you will have to decide whether the version of yourself that chooses theories over signals is the asset they built, or the liability you became. The recorder light is dark. The room is still. And the archive moves quietly through the night in a courier's hands, toward people who will spend years inside its secrets, never knowing the name of the woman who carried it next to her heartbeat through a city that was never supposed to know she existed.